And let's go ahead, actually stop and reset this and restart it. Okay, so in the last video, of course, I made this, and somehow I trying to get this to scale along the grid marks, along the grid points, and somehow scaling is not working, even when I set this to absolute grid snap. I have no idea why. So let's us go look it up. Okay, join Blender 2.8. Let's say what do I want to do? I want to snap scaling to grid. Snapping scale object to grid implements increments. Okay. Scaling object isn't scaling or snapping the grid segments, but snapping to large distances. As a point in 3D space, its origin. An object is a point in 3D space, its origin. This guy on RC is trying to tell me what the deal is, and snap to grid increment does that. Snap state units of whatever the current grid increment is in the 3D view. Set the snapping tools on the 3D view header, and the scene settings change to either metric or imperial, then the size of the current grid in the 3D view. Transform, scale, or rotate locks take effect when you transform and scale and rotate, but you can override by inputting a value directly. Yeah, but it didn't seem to do that. Snap to all the time. What's happening is when I scale up the sphere, for example, it doesn't snap to each grid square, but only snaps to every 6th grid square. When scaling, I would like the object to snap. Are you scaling in orthographic perspective mode? You scale in ortho perfect view, you won't see the view in perspective. So potentially zoomed. That still doesn't work here. Scale tools do not snap to grid increments. They snap to value increments of 0.1, so you can easily scale an object exactly 1.2, 1.3, etc. When you're working on the grid, sometimes this happens to coincide with grid point, but you can't easily scale the object so it's a particular point on the grid. I haven't found a good solution to this day, except perhaps for getting out my calculator, calculating the scale factor manually and just typing it out. What's interesting is stupid mouse. That was from August 2011. Here, I'm going to paste that in IRC. Apparently, someone in 2011 had this problem with an earlier version of Blender. Okay. Snapping grid increment improvements in 2.8. Increment snapping was kind of just thrown into Blender. Snaps every 1 unit. If I want to change that, I have to change the visual grids. Rotations and scale are worse. Rotation snaps 5 degree increments, and scale to 0.1 increments are hard coded, not changeable. As far as grid improvements, shows up just fine. You can still snap to the grid, but it just isn't drawn. Absolute grid snapping while translating, being only available when moving. Interesting. Okay, thanks. I can just manually do it because I did set it to what, 10 or 12 or something, I forget now exactly. But we'll see here. What's the size of this? 24 by 36. So that means I was doing 12 before. Okay, so I was doing it in increments of 12. Okay, and then this size is 2 by 2 by 2. Let's do this. Would be x 24. Boom. And then, whoop, that's not what I meant to do. Okay. Yes, he's okay. Let's move it. There we go. That and boom, just like that. And we're gonna say 1. That. And actually we're gonna say something like this is 8. See, something like that. And let's actually move it up. There we go. And Shift D, and we want to move it on the Y axis. So I'm going to move this back up. So Shift D. And let's zoom out so we can move this over. Why? Scale. Why is that scale 0.5? I see. Based on the pivot center part means that taking the pivot into account if you move multiple objects. Okay, that doesn't really apply to me. Alright, fine. What if I said 2 here? And what if I moved it? That's fine. Okay, so how do I... Okay. Pivot point, medium point, bounding box center, 3D cursor, individual origins. Scale is 1. Dimensions is 2. what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make this one, and I'm trying to make sure this snaps. So I don't know why that doesn't work. If I set this to 1, it's going to reset the scale, and I don't want it to do that. Okay, let's snap it to something else instead. Let's snap it to vertex, I guess. Okay, let's snap it to the vertex. Like that. That'll work. Alright. Okay, now shift D and put it in the escape. We're just going to move the there we go. Right. Fine. 18. So that's half of 36. That will probably be fine. Now let's go ahead and oh, it looks like we're just about out of time, but I guess we'll add the back wall in a bit. Control S. Okay. And okay, so stop, reset. What I'm also going to do is maybe possibly after I add this back wall, I might go ahead and add a material maybe. We'll see. Yeah, maybe we'll see. We'll see. I'll decide in a few minutes what I'll do here. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video, and we'll see if we can continue to finish this up.